The Dean of Student Life herself, Dr. Reber. So please help me in welcoming her to the stage and listen to all the wise words that she has for us.
I'm going to do this every day at work. I'm going to people clap at work. Can you hear me? Is that okay? Okay. This one. I'm only here for a few minutes, and then I'm off to do a retreat, but I really welcome the opportunity to talk to you all here today. Talk a little bit about your impact, because as the Dean of Student Life, of course, you all report to my staff, and my staff reports to me. And so when things go awry, typically I hear about it, okay? But thankfully, that is a very rare occurrence at the New Student Conference. But what I do know over the years that we see a number of things, I got my little cheat sheet here, a number of things that occur each and every summer that will impact you. How many of you have done this before? Okay, so I'm kind of preaching to the choir a little bit here. And then just who are new this year? Okay, still quite a few. Okay, this is it. The day has arrived. The sun is shining. Okay, it will shine all summer long, right? Except for maybe tonight. Maybe. Weather. Okay. So hang in there. But this is it. This is the day it all begins. And you are welcome. What's the number now? 14,000 maybe? Well, those are the freshmen, right? And then we've got about another 2,000 transfer students plus their family members. So tens of thousands of people will be on this campus. Are very Christian face. Okay, we'll see. You've probably heard that already. So it better be the best face you can put on. So it's not about, the makeup, the hair, whatever else, right? It's about that smile. It's about that Aggie smile. And so you are going to be reassuring people all summer long. And so what I know is that you have the best role models here at Texas A&M. Whether it's your co-chairs here or it's the staff, from beginning to end. So today's easy. Tomorrow's easy. The first couple of weeks, pretty easy because you're still pretty pumped. Let's see what you feel like in July and August. And whether it's Megan or Emily or Libby or Meredith, the consistency that these folks have is what we're looking for with all of you. Because as you know, the students that come each conference, it's their first day. Lots and lots of first days. But for you, as time passes, it's day whatever, 18, 20, 27, 32, etc. So that's what I need you to remember. For every family that comes, it's their first day. Okay? Yesterday, it struck me, I was reading Twitter. I'm a Twitter lurker. Okay? I like to read it. You can follow me. You won't see a lot of my tweets. But there is a young woman who really, really wanted to go to the university. Yes. And she went to a very small high school. Very small. So how many of you think you went to a small high school? Okay. And so just how big was your graduating class? Anybody?
My graduating class is 12.
12.
12 for the 12.
No, we can't.
Okay. Her graduating class was 7. Yeah.
She went to my school.
So, do you know the story?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she wanted to go to UT. And so, but they have the state of Texas has the top 10% rule, but you can't be in the top 10% when you only have 7 people in your graduating class. So therefore, even though she was a valedictorian and her resume looked beautiful and she had all of these activities and high ACT, SAT scores, she didn't get in to the University of Texas. And so she challenged the university, and long story short, with the assistance of other people, the University of Texas decided, yeah, that's not right. no, that's not right, that you don't get to come in. So we're gonna send you a new admittance letter, as well as 9 other students across the state of Texas who come from very small schools. And so she was admitted to the University of Texas. But yesterday on Twitter, she said, I'm not going there. Oh, guess where she's going? Now, my point being is that even though we weren't her first choice, you will make her feel like this should have been her first choice. This is the best choice for her. And so you need to remember that every student that you're going to interact with and their family, while most of them, this was their first choice, there are some, for whatever reason, this wasn't their first choice. But by the end of their new student conference, you're going to make them change their mind. That this was, in fact, the right choice for them. And so, and I hope it is for her, clearly. She also applied to a number of other schools, including Rice, Baylor. I don't know who she got accepted to, but she ended up deciding, thanks to Texas, but this is where it is. So she didn't say what conference she was coming to. So. My other story for you is I have dear friends who also are coming from a fairly small community, but they have twin daughters, and both of their daughters got accepted. One was an automatic admit. The other one had to wait a little bit. That happens many times with multiples. But nonetheless, they are so excited. I got their little graduation card from high school, and they're holding their banner that says, when we met. So it's very, very cute. They are as different as night and day. One has long hair, one has short hair. One is going to be in the hard sciences. The other one's going to be in visualization, doing animation. Their interests are far and wide. But the picture on the card shows them hugging one another, as only sisters can do. Again, my point being, you will meet families, you might meet multiples who are coming, who do not assume anything about our families. Right? Just that they chose Texas A&M, and this is where they want to be. And so, you've probably been trained on a lot of different things. What to say, what not to say. When I say Texas, you hiss. Okay? I don't know if we'll be doing that, though, during the new student conferences. Is that part of the, yeah, that's probably part of the training. I know we get that training as presenters. I will speak at every new student conference to the parents. And so, but there are things that we're asked not to say, not to put down other schools, not to make some of the jokes we always make, because you don't know who's in the audience. In fact, I have yet to go through a summer that I do not see a parent or family member wearing a University of Texas shirt when they come. What's that about? But, I'm like, okay, let's be welcoming, that's what we're supposed to do. And so, but you don't know who's in that family and what their backgrounds are. So, again, just a word of caution about that, because you're going to make an impact on those people as well. Whether they're wearing that University of Texas shirt, whether they're wearing an Alabama shirt, whether they're wearing some other school that we may necessarily like a lot. They want to see how you're going to react to that. And of course, you are going to put forward your best foot and welcome them just as you would everyone else. The other thing, and I'm going to kind of close with some of the concerns of the parents, because that's who I deal with a lot, right? So it's hot, they're tired, they're hungry, they're thirsty, they're angry, they're stressed, they're frustrated. You're going to see that, right? And you are quite possibly not going to be able to change that emotion because they're too far down that road. It's just been one of those days, right? But you just still need to be understanding of where they are, because maybe your mom and dad were there at one point, or your family member. And so be aware of the fact that you can still be as understanding as possible, even if you can't take away all their stress, all their frustration, all their hunger. Because it is a really trying time for them when they're here. It's exciting, but as you know, excitement can create a lot of anxiety in our community. that in mind. Don't take it personally, right? When you get snapped at, or somebody's not happy with something about the new student comments, even though we are perfect. It's just that they're not. No. But in all seriousness, this is what you're dealing with. But I have the utmost faith in you. As I said, by the end of the summer, it is truly amazing what you do to welcome new students. Now, the other thing is that the number one concern I hear when I interact with parents all summer is this place is really good. Right? It is. There's no denying it. Okay? But we have this uncanny ability to make Texas A&M feel as small as your high school. I mean, it's amazing how we are able to wrap ourselves around these families and make them feel like it's going to be okay. And that's one thing I want you to remember. Okay? Your warmth, your kindness, your understanding will let them or reassure them that this is in fact the right place for your children. Okay? Because as big as we are, that just means our heart is that big. There's a huge heart in the middle of this campus. It's you. Okay? You're the cool kids this summer. You're going to make this a really cool experience for these families because you have the heart of Texas A&M in you, and this is what we need to let these parents know. By the way, right? The location of College Station is in the heart of Texas. Right? You look at the map. That's exactly right. So you need to just keep showing your heart and reassuring these families that in fact it doesn't matter how big we are, this is the place for your student. So having said that, all of that, I'm really, really excited for another summer. Come see me at the end and I'm so excited. But I wish you the very, very best because you are the very, very best. These folks have chosen you to lead our freshmen students coming in, our transfer students coming in, and making this first step one of the most important ones for them. This transition this summer is huge for them. We want them to feel as confident as you are here today. You are confident, right? Sure, yes. All right, well, I'm going to turn it back over to you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to kind of kick off things for you, and I wish you the very best. If you need anything from me all summer, I'll be around here and there. I kind of walk around quite a bit, actually, through the conferences, as I'm walking to meetings or doing whatever, just so I can kind of see how things are going and listen, because nobody knows really who I am. It's kind of be conspicuous. So, thank you, and giggle.
Let's move on into the actual mock training portion of mock training again today. So we'd like for you guys to give it up for your OLC.
Big jump, Carl.
Okay, so for the first program they are going to overview today. I know we talked about it, and a lot has not changed, but there are specific details here that you need to pay attention because if you have trailblazing in a few days, you need to use it.
So, what is trailblazing? Trailblazing is a program where OLP students and family members that are guiding meeting located from Rudder Fountain. That's when you stand on the sign and you're like, hey, making conversation, yay. And then when we tell you what time to leave, you walk to the college with the sign, and then you tell them to go in the building, and that's it.
So what does the schedule look for y'all? So at 7:15 you arrive here at Rudder. So you know when you came in, you know where it says restroom. We're gonna meet right there. And then you receive your individual positions, which you're either gonna be a college or you're gonna be holding a question sign. Depends how many colleges we have that day. And fun fact, this year we're doing 2 leave times, so 2 will be able to have one in college. Then you go outside to Rudder Plaza, which which is the fountain right here, right in the fountain between the MSC and Rudder. And we'll assign you to different positions around the fountain, and you'll be sitting there holding your sign up. And for leave time, it leaves at 8. So we will tell you when to leave. Even though it says we leave at 8, you do not leave till we tell you to leave. So yes, it is 8 a.m., but you need to get a go from one of the OLCs in order to go. And then you return to Rudder at 8:30 for announcements. So after you drop them off, you come back, and then we meet back inside Rudder, and then we do announcements in your room.
So, what schools will you have? You'll have a sign with the colleges on the front, and then like on the back will be a list of colleges where like they all go, and then as well as like a map of like your specific college and like the route that we like prefer y'all to take. West Campus and Buffalo, we're gonna have like little flyers on the bus to tell them like how to get back from their meetings, since we're not gonna stay until like the entire meeting's over. So that's kind of what we have in the sign. Kind of look like that.
They're better this year.
But that's literally like basically they look like the college, and then you look on the back of that, and then it's probably all over.
So leave times. There'll be 2 leave times for education, geosciences, science, and blend team. So yeah, so we would tell them when to leave. So exactly, like even though you will know exactly your leave time, like we would say, you will leave at 8:15. You do not leave Rudder Plaza until we say you can leave. We will tell you the time just to have an idea of when you're going to leave, but you do not leave the plaza until we tell you it's okay to leave.
Yeah, so there's 4 different OL positions. There's sign holder, West Campus OL, Bus OL, and Guide OL. Sign holder, you're gonna hold sign. West Campus OL, you're just gonna stand there and like, kind of tell people like where to go. Bus OL, you're gonna stay on the bus, and the Guide OL, you're just gonna be like sharing and stuff and telling people where to go.
Yeah, so just go in depth. So you're responsible for holding the sign for college, and then you walk the students and their family members to their college meeting. So with sign holders, if you're a sign holder, you're holding your sign towards the students. Let's say Carla's behind me and she says, Leo, you turn around, but your sign is still facing the front. Because if someone's coming up and you're turning around, they're just going to see a blank sign. So you have to make sure that your sign is facing the students at all times. Also, you don't hold it down here because that's for yourself. No, you hold it up here at all times. Your arm's going to get tired, switch it out. You have to. Please choose this if you know where these buildings are. Don't do it like, oh, I'm going to try something new, and then you get lost, and then we can't find it. So please do it if you know exactly where these buildings are. And we will tell you where to stand. So if you're familiar with the building, we tell you exactly where to stand. So don't worry about you running around. And then bus OL. So you will ride the bus. So it's exactly what it says. So we will assign you to a bus, and you will sit on that bus, and you do not get off that bus. So West Campus OLs, they get off the bus when they get to their location. If you're a bus OL, you sit and ride the bus all trailblazing long until we tell you to get out. You're responsible for counting the amount of people on the buses, so you'll have a clicker that we will provide for you, and you click them out, and you'll explain what the flyers are for, and even though the person giving out the flyers will explain that, you're going to kind of say that again just so they have an idea, like it sticks in their head, like this is what you're going to do with the flyer. And the flyer pretty much is going to tell them how to get back. So we get them there, but we don't get them back. And the way you're going to know that it's time to end trailblazing is when we tell a West Campus OL to get on the bus. When the West Campus OL is on the bus, that means that's it. You get out when you get back to them. Is that clear? So bus OL, you stay on the bus all trailblazing long until West Campus OL gets back on the bus. Questions so far? Cool. Yeah. So you will have flyers to tell them how to get back. And the colleges that will be riding the buses would be the Agriculture and Life Sciences, Business, and Veterinary.
Okay, so this is just about the bus route. That is 9 business, 7 different ones. I think we're going to be using route 3, but there's route 3, 4, 6, and 9. Agricultural and
And if you want to take a picture of this, I would definitely recommend to do it right now because these are the buses that you have to know. So yes, they will have a flyer, but if they lose the flyer and they ask you, these are the bus routes that they can take to get back to the Memorial Civic Center. So, and again, we want to kind of like get flyer-less. So please emphasize the app. Just say, hey, we have a cool app, and show them how to use it. Say you press the bus route, it tells you like the exact location and blah blah blah, and you kind of explain that to them. But these are the bus routes that they can take to get back home. Everyone's good?
Just to clarify, on the way there, we have our own shuttles. So this is not what they will be riding on the way there.
Yes.
Just in case that was
So
confusing.
we have our own conference shuttles, and it's going to say conference shuttles on there, and then they'll be gone once the blazing's out, and then they'll be right here on the buses. Does that make sense?
If someone else tries to ride that bus that's not in the instrument conference, we're allowed to be like, I'm sorry.
Yes, so that's why at check-in, you specify that they wear their lanyards at all times, because that is their ticket everywhere. If they don't have a lanyard, they can't get on the bus.
Yeah, I think it says like, you know how on the back it says like Route 40, Route 30 of the buses? Well, these will say like new student conference. So someone tries to get on there, just be like, are you part of the new student conference?
Yeah.
No, well, these are just like reserved, you can pick from the bus.
Yeah.
Just standing there and you see people kind of like confused and lost with their maps, you're just gonna be like, hey, you need some help, and you're gonna help them, and give them directions to where they're supposed to go, and stuff like that. If they have any questions as far as like getting back to like and stuff like that.
Yeah, so to add to that, guide AOL. You're going to be in the plaza for an academic by yourself. Can you use your phone? No. Can you touch your phone? No. So you are going to be by yourself, so I know you're going to be tempted to take it out of your pocket and start texting or group me. Unacceptable. No Snapchat. If I see Snapchat, it's going to be mad. I'm going to be real mad. No, you're there to serve the students. You're not there to Snapchat or text or group me. So phones out of hand.
Are we gonna have handouts for where to send people if they get lost from their, like, on their way to their college? Or if,
So we're literally going to drop them off at the building. And the bus, like the West Campus Hall is literally going to say, this is here. And the advisors are usually walking around, like they're out, and there's signs in the building telling them where to go. And it's also in their map, like in their schedule, it says the exact route that they're going to.
So if you don't really know, like if someone comes up to you like, hey, I'm in education, where am I supposed to go? You can be like, hey, what is your schedule? And like
And it's
on
gonna
the
be-
back
so
of the schedule.
specifically for guidewells, if they came up to us, if we were there to help them.
They're going to ask you mostly for the building. So they're going to be like, where's Hell? Or where's Heck? And you're going to be like, Harrington is this way. This is how you get there. Or if you see someone like, it's like super lost and you say, hey, like, how can I help you? Where can I go? So again, like, that's a good question. Please be aware of your surroundings. There's going to be people all around. So no phones. Pay attention to your surroundings. Por favor.
If it's someone that's on the bus, or like the bus that, or like the advisors that are leaving the bus, what you do is say like, there's a bus coming in like X amount of minutes.
What do you mean? Like, if they're...
So like they're late or like they get lost or something, they miss the bus, is there gonna be a bus like?
Yeah, so if, that's why we need, how do you go back? Yeah, so that's why you have a picture of this. Because if they get late and they can't ride the conference shuttle, guess where they're going? I'm not sure. So,
Okay, so if we're a guidewell or like that situation happens, and we don't know like the time on the top of our head, and maybe we forget or like if there's really close to first to go is to like a time or something, is that where we can like say, you have the app on your phone so I can show you or?
yes, that's perfectly fine. That is perfect. And that's why you're going to see the schedules when you go to check-in. Look at the buildings. Be aware where the buildings are. It's also online. So if you don't know, if you want to like are trailblazing and you want to get ahead of the schedules for NSC will be posted in the NSC page. So you go there and you make sure that you know where the buildings are if you're a guide away.
So also they'll have a map in their bags. So if you're a guide OL and they're like, I don't know where I'm going, and they're going somewhere like architecture, you can pull out their map and then show them how to get there from where you are on the map. As well as the TAMU mobile app has a map on there that you can like follow your location to the building. So they have that. It's super helpful. Always recommend that first.
Pretty much they have all the resources they need.
Adding to the guidewell stuff, some parents or like some students are kind of embarrassed to ask, so just like lend yourself, be like, hey, do you need help? You know they're like by that podium, I'm gonna walk over there and like ask them.
Yes, be approachable. Be helpful. That's why you're here. go outside. So just kind of an overview, you already saw it. So pretty much you're the route before you take it, you go to the O&M building. Even if you have a magical route that you take every day, please take this one. It's easier to get back. I'm probably sure that you're like, oh, but I've been there a million times. Yes, but this is the one we want, okay? This probably. And we know that it's kind of like a long one, but it's the most direct one. So it's not about being efficient, it's more about, it's easier for them to remember, go straight and turn right, than go through the buildings to get to this building. Does that make sense? So you're probably like, going through campus is definitely a lot faster, but are they going to remember how to get back? No, this is the most direct one, so keep that in mind. Telescope, which is Lindsay, College of Science, and then the architecture building, which is again, not the most efficient, but the most direct route. And then with campus location, so we'll be going to Batman, which is the new building, going to business, over here, and then we're going to ag, which is the and for those who don't leave our MSc and letters, which is the College of Engineering, which is actually going to be in here, I think, or the forum, and then liberal arts is in the MSc. So you'll know that, we'll let you know where they are, so ahead of time, so you'll be able to, so you would not have like 2 leave times, you would just stay there, and then you would just keep sending them to the building. Does that make sense? Questions so far? Julio.
So, extra info. Like we've emphasized many times, you cannot sign up for trailblazing and morning check-in or attendance at the same, like you can't sign up for both, it's not a thing. But you can do it. So, you finish trailblazing, you're like, hey, I'm going to go help them do it in the rest of my friends. Let me go. Go do that. That's cool. I'm sure Jordan and Matt will appreciate it a lot. Trailblazing isn't mandatory, but you can kind of throw it out there and emphasize like, hey, you know, I've been here before, you know, trailblazing is a really cool program to go to. It'll get you there so you're not lost, sufficient, early, but it's fine. So just kind of talk about it and get right about it. And then being able to pass the class is kind of awkward when you're all just kind of standing there in silence. So just kind of talk like, where y'all from? OMG, so early, I know. Just like little things like that, and it like makes the time pass by quicker, and it's not as awkward as.
Yeah, complain about it being early. They like
They
that.
love that. They're
They're like, yeah, me too, I'm
and
so
they're like,
tired.
I know, it's funny.
So more helpful too. Use sidewalks, not day walk. Please, seriously, do not. It's for your safety and the safety of the family members and the students. Yes, it's going to be the summer. There's not going to be a lot of cars. I don't care. You're going to walk on the sidewalk. There's plenty of them. Literally, Aiden's built on a sidewalk. All the buildings are on sidewalks. Okay, so just walk on the sidewalk. There's plenty of them. And walk as fast as your slowest person. Please make everyone feel welcome. Everyone feel included. Don't walk like you're over there and Carla's like the first person and she's over here. Like, make sure that you're together, you're interacting. That doesn't mean walk 1 mile an hour because you have to get there at a certain time. So just walk efficiently, but also make everyone feel included. And if you notice someone who's handicapped, you accommodate them by letting the entire group through that entrance. So, for example, coming into Rudder, if you see that someone's in a wheelchair or in crutches, you don't separate that person from the group. So if someone's in a wheelchair, all of y'all go through the ramp, not just that one person. We're making everyone feel included and being inclusive. Therefore, if you see someone in a wheelchair, who do you take on the group? Like, who do you take to the handicap? Everyone. Exactly. Okay, so please, that's very
And
important.
if you don't know any handicap entrances, make sure you ask, like, hey, I'm going to, like, tech, like, where's, like, the handicap entrance? Like, we will find out for you if you don't know, but please make sure that you find out. It's going to be real awkward to get there and you don't know where to go. So.
Yep, be aware of your surroundings. And also, this goes for TDL, so if you're a TDL, follow this rule as well. Anybody have some questions? Say now, regret later. Trailblazing is in a few days.
Woo.
Yay!
Whenever we're done walking them to their colleges, what happens? So
Oh yeah, so when you drop them off, guess where you come back? Rudder, exactly. So one of us would be in Rudder Plaza and one of us would be inside, or both, like all of us would be outside, it doesn't matter. You find one of us and then we'll come inside, we get your signs and we do announcements. But you are not released until we tell you you're released. So if you drop off your group and you leave your sign on the side of rudder and you leave, guess what? You don't get credit, so you just wasted your time. So we have to say, Saya, he's out of here, and then you can
We have another question.
Sorry. No, sorry. I'm trying to understand this. So there are 2 leave times for
Yeah.
each college.
So like, let's say me and Leo were both colleges, right?
Yeah.
College of Carla, College of Leo. I'm leaving at 8 a.m., I go first. And then let's say she leaves at 8:02, then Leo comes, and let's say I come back at 8:05, I'm standing there, and let's say like at 8:07, I'm going to be dead. Does that make sense?
But that's if we, like, so,
No, it's
so
not.
this is College of Carla, and I'll be College of Carla as well. So, College of Carla, yeah, so you leave at 8, right? She left.
Yes.
And if it's a faraway college like Halbudi, I will leave at 8:02.
Right.
Or 8:03, but I'm the same college. I'm not a different college. Does that make sense?
Okay. So you're both like, for example.
We're both right.
Yeah, so you will be holding, both of y'all will be holding the same sign, but one of y'all will be down usually, while the other one goes out.
Okay.
And then when she leaves, you raise your sign and then you turn into her again. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's constant flow. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I repeat it again. There'll be 2 signs of the same college. You just have to think a little bit. So there's College of Carla and then College of Carla, correct?
Yes.
College of Carla first is at 8 a.m. Left. Then College of Carla second comes up with their sign. And then they leave at 8:02. Does that make sense? Okay. So, recap. Trailblazing is on day 2. So what day is today? 0. So trailblazing is today. And you have to be there at 7:15. Where? No. By the restroom. Inside a rudder. So, 7:15. Where are you going to be? Be careful walking, use sidewalks, and utilize handicap entrances. Again, handicap entrances. Be aware of them. Be aware of their surroundings. Be aware of who's in your group. Use the map on the signs. They're helpful. Amiri spent a lot of time putting those signs together. So please, look at them. And if it comes to the words and you can't understand the signs, you can use the app on your phone. But that's like extra last resort. Okay, like, that's like the last resort. Do not use your phone. There are 2 leave times for some colleges, so we'll let you know what colleges will have leave time, 2 leave times that day. And you can do trailblazing in the morning, check in at the same time, it's very important. So if you already did that and signed up for trailblazing check-in, find a replacement, because it's not going to be nice. And download the AIM app. So I would recommend y'all, I'm pretty sure all of y'all mostly have it. So I recommend downloading it, that way if you're explaining something to someone, you can pull it up real quick. And it's not on here, but guys, please don't use your phones again. You're there to serve the students, you're there to be inclusive, you're there to be aware. So if you're in Academic Plaza, don't touch your phone, don't look at your phone, don't even think about your phone. So, yeah, any questions before we end this?
If we're at West Campus OL, will we be told when to come back, or is it automatic?
Yes, we'll tell you when to go back.
Okay.
Does the same go for the guy?
Yes, so we will, like, you'll be aware. So we'll tell you, like in the morning, we'll tell you exactly how everything's gonna go, we'll tell you exactly when to come back, we'll tell you how we're gonna tell you to come back, and then at the end, everyone's gonna be together. Sounds good? Cool. That's it.
To tell the new students, I don't have any particular doubts about y'all being respectful human beings. So for the new students, a few basic rules. Y'all will have VIP seating. I have reservation cards that I'm just going to set out on chairs. They're going to be the seats that are on the edges of the aisle so that you're able to sit down last and get up first, so you're able to lead your insight group out at the end of the performance. But just while you're sitting in those rows, you're going to be wanting to just kind of make sure you keep in order a little bit. So they're more than welcome to laugh. There's multiple times during the skit where we're going to say the number 21. Hey! And they will respond like that, so they're welcome to do that. They're welcome to get loud at those moments. They're designed to be that. Just make sure that after they do that, they don't just sit there talking to each other like, oh my god, it's so cool that we get to do this now. Shut them up so they can. 3 other quick rules. no cell phones. I don't know why that one came up first. We also don't want any sleeping. And we had a problem with this last one last year. Don't let them make out. We had 2 new students make out last year.
Fun time.
Then just for y'all, respect your friends while they're up there. I mean, you know everyone who's up here performing. I know it can get tempting to shout things at us, like really tempting. I don't want to do it. But just, we also feed off the energy of the crowd. So if it's a dead crowd, we're going to be a little bit more pressed to like find motivation to come out here and be like, yeah, all right, I'm excited to do this. We're going to be like, man, they think we suck. So y'all are going to see this a lot. Y'all are going to do a bunch of stew tracks. You might even do extra ones. So every time you do that, it's going to be basically the same performance. I can't switch up the script in between. So just make sure that when you're coming in, you're still like laughing along, even if you're kind of, you've seen it a bunch and you're like, I know what jokes are coming. But just help us out, laugh along, because the new students are going to take their cues from you. If they're looking over and they're like, man, these OLs are too cool to laugh at this skit, we're not going to laugh either. Like, you know, try and help us out. So laugh, cry, clap, wildcat, whatever keeps them pumped up. Singles is the new students for y'all. Please don't take out your cell phones. I don't expect y'all will be making out with anyone, but definitely don't do that. So yeah, otherwise just sit back, relax, enjoy the show. I like to think it's funny, because if you don't think it's funny, it's a personal attack. Then some procedures for the beginning and ending. Y'all will lead them to their seats. Like I said, there's going to be reservation cards on the seats, so when y'all walk in, you can just kind of go ahead and funnel them down the row, try and keep your group together, but if you don't, it doesn't really matter. So try and tell them that procedure on the way over, so when you get here, be like, that way when they get here, they're not sitting down in your reservation seat, you can just tell the group that you're leading and be like, hey, don't sit in the seat that says reserved on it, in case you couldn't figure that one out. I'm going to be up here, I'm going to give a short little spiel, kind of similar stuff to this, but just talking to them, hey, be respectful, it's like any other live performance. Just talking about what we're going to be going over, discussing like, hey, some of this is going to be some pretty deep stuff. If you want any more help, you can talk to the resources that we're going to be talking about and putting on the screen. Or you can come talk to anyone wearing a maroon or a black polo. Afterwards, we're more than happy to talk to you about it and more than happy to direct you in the right direction if you need help from someone else. And then we'll do the performance, and at the end, I will dismiss them in groups to go ahead and head on out. Y'all are going to be gathering up at the top of the stairs. Gladys and her execs on duty will be dividing y'all up and sending y'all off the rooms. So the middle two sections, discombobulated. So these two in between will go out the back. These two on the sides will go out this way. This row is just probably going to remain unoccupied. And then finally, y'all are going to head through your insight groups. You got kind of cut off here. But head through your insight groups and have fun at Stew Track Fest Track.
Whoop.
All right. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and put on CSI once we get this thing set up on stage. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay, so I'd like to reiterate, we are the CIT team checking in tours. I'm Amanda. Y'all can get closer. Okay, so when y'all get here in the morning, you'll come in through one of these gates. I'm thinking we're gonna probably do one of these because y'all will be probably parking in this lot over here. We're gonna open it for you guys. Make sure that every time any of you come in, that you close the door behind you. You can close the lock, just don't actually close the lock, okay? Just make it look like you locked it behind you. Because family members do follow you up, and then we have to awkwardly tell them to go all the way back down. Okay. Also, when you're down here, as an attendant, you'll be a mingler. So when the line forms, you'll just go out there and talk to random family members, make sure they're doing great and having a good time. There'll also be music playing down here. So your exec on duty will be in control of that, making sure it runs well. That's all of that. Now we're going to walk to the back and show you where some elevators are for the... This is where the photo booth will be. Meg and I and Jordan tried it this morning. The lighting's a little weird, but it's still there for them if they want to take pics. Okay? That's where this comes in. So if you are an attendant that day and we assign you to be photo booth OL / the person who stands here, you have to make sure you have the chalkboard. Got it? Good. Then walk this way.
Someone drop their name tag, I have it.
What's the name?
Nicole, Nicholas.
Nicholas?
Amanda, do you need one?
This doesn't
Here you go, Liz.
They're going to go to the 4th floor. Okay? The 4th floor. It's on their schedules, but you know people don't read all the time. So just make sure you tell them 4th floor. Yes, Gary. Yes, Gary. It changed.
Oh, I mean, that's not me.
Alright. So when you are up here, you'll either be an attendant or you'll be a spieler. So if you're an attendant, you'll either be stationed right here as a person that directs them and you greet them. You're like, howdy, students over here, families over there. Try to encourage family members to go that way, okay? Because this is like focused for the students, so they want to be by themselves. But if not, like don't push it too much. You don't want to anger any family members. Then you'll be placed over there where the exit sign is. Make sure you're telling them to go down the escalators. We don't want them going down the elevators because it's dropping place. Okay? And then the last position you'd be, if you were up here, would be the family side OL. If you're over there, you're answering any questions families have about like where to go, what to do. Okay. If you look around the room, we have help desk right here. Transportation services, so if they have questions about parking, admissions, and the TSI, so those are like holes and you'll send them over here. And back there is International Student Services. And then if they are asking about t-shirts, they'll be in this alcove back here. All right, now we're going to split into groups. Well, we're going to split into big groups of three groups. Woohoo! So let's count off. All of it?
Yes.
Okay, quick reminders. Make sure when you're spieling, your phones are put up, your water bottles are on the floor, and that if you're running out of any material, please tell your EOD as soon as possible. That's for traffic flow. Also, make sure you're taking more than one. Okay? You can spiel to more than one person. Just make sure you get the holds correct and the wristbands correct. All right, y'all make sure. This is the student check-in. You guys will only be checking in students. Okay, so what you see on the table is what will be on the table for every other conference that you are at. The only thing that's missing is a campus map and then some extra papers that we might ask you to pass out. That's low. The only thing that we know for sure you can have is campus map. So in front of you is the little thing with the ring. You see a bunch of papers. The first page is a little half sheet, right? That's like a code to help you figure out which wristband and which color and which college, like all the coordination. So that's what you'll give the students, not the papers, but you'll give the wristband to the students. The second page is the spiel. Keep in mind that the spiel is just a guideline. You can read off of it as much as you want, but I'm pretty sure you'll have it memorized like after like 3 or 4 conferences. Okay? It just tells you what to do with holds, and the process that they go through. Third page is your bacterial meningitis flowchart. Make sure you know that very well. Okay, we don't need students that need to go to admissions or to help desk. We don't need students that need to go to help desk or to admissions. Okay? Remember that if they don't have any record of a bacterial meningitis shot, we do not check them in. You don't give them anything, nothing. You literally will be like, sorry, I cannot check them in. And if they make a big hit, you'll ask your DOE to talk to them, and if not, we will talk to them, and if not, NSFP will talk to them. Okay? Thing is, if you don't have it at all, do not check them in. If they have it, and it's like not with them, that's when you follow the flow chart. They have it, it's not like showing you. They've already submitted it, that's when you follow the flow chart. Okay? They have it, you can enter. The last page is just like directions to get from one location on campus to the other. We didn't really use it too much last year, but if it comes up and we're not really sure how to explain it to them, it's there. It's just a resource for you guys. Okay. Any questions about the paper? About rectal meningitis? About spieling? You can also spiel to more than one person. So, for example, this conference is big. So, the first is a transfer conference. It's going to be 644 students. The second one is a freshman conference, and it's 704. Okay? So it's going to get pretty busy, especially morning check-in. So make sure, like, if you see a really, really long line, you take like 2 or 3 people at a time. So when you do that, make sure you're taking names, holds, and wristbands for each person. Okay? Be organized. And also, you can handle it too. Okay? Questions about that?
So you just like you can decide what the next person just explain these things to you.
Yeah, so there'll be like this really long line, right? So you'll be like, I'll take the next 2 people. So both come up. You ask for one person, you find their name tag, and then you ask for the other person, you find their name tag, address each of them individually about their holds, and then find their wristband. Okay? This is where bacterial meningitis is important, because if one person doesn't have it, you have to send them away. Okay? Alright. So, what you'll also have around you is you're going to have tubs between each of you with the bags that you just bagged. And then you'll also have a tub of wristbands. Okay? So everything should be easy for you. If you start running out of any material, make sure you tell your EOD as soon as possible. This is for flow, and make sure that you guys keep spieling while we run around and everything. Okay? Also, when you're out here, make sure your phones are not out. We prefer it if you keep your phones in the back, but if you, for some reason, really need your phone by you, then you can bring it out. Make sure it stays in your pocket the entire time. If I see you with your phone out, I will remove you, and you will not get attendance to that. Okay? We also you need to make sure that if you bring out a water bottle, it's on the floor. It doesn't matter right now, but if you do, it's on the floor, okay? It's just so like it's not cluttered and you're organized. So now we're gonna practice spieling. Did I forget anything else? Okay, now we're gonna practice spieling, so half of y'all are
So Gladys, welcome to the student track portion of mock training. Yeah, student track, bus track. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Pre-con, best con. So, as you may know, if you played the Kahoot yesterday, there's 2 different parts of student track. That is student dinner and transfer lunch. If you're very confused when they happen, transfer lunch happens around noonish when you typically have lunch. Student dinner happens around 5 o'clock when you typically have dinner. Okay? So if you're ever confused when you sign up for stuff on AOLP online, when you see it, and you see the times, you know if you're signing up for transfer lunch, other than it says transfer lunch, or student dinner. As well as those that have yet to sign up for transfer lunch, JT and Patricia have opened up more spots, because it came to my knowledge that we reached our cap in all of transfer lunch.
Woo! That's a good thing though.
Yes. So Gladys. So you can now sign up for transfer lunches if you haven't yet. Okay, and if it goes back to its cap, email Patty and or JT. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about first is student dinner. Okay, so I expect y'all to show up at 4:45 at Bethencourt. I know that if you're doing afternoon check-in, it overlaps with this time. Do text me. I like if you tell me in person, but I will forget. So text me it. If you don't have my number, I will give it out if you'll need it. Do y'all want my number right now?
Say, or we can send it in the group meeting.
Or Shay just pointed out, they will send it to you in the group meet. Or you should already know this. But yes, do text me if you are going to be late. I prefer text because that's what I check the most. If you email me, I will also check that as well. But I tend to lag in my emails when I'm in the MSC all the time. So I receive texts before anything. As well as if you do show up late, super late, with some Starbucks in your hand, I will pick you up. Okay? So if you are coming from check-in, come straight from it. If you are coming from work, come straight from work. Don't lollygag. Just because if you're not here, that means someone else has to pick up the slack, as well as I don't know how many people are actually here. And then attendance kind of gets wonky, because I don't know if you're going to actually show up on time or late, or not show up at all. Okay. So just text me. Okay. Dinner is from 5:15 to 6:15. If you've been here in past years, you know you now have an hour to eat with the students. You're actually eating with them. You're not eating beforehand, as has been done beforehand, or before in years. So if you do not understand that, students will get their food, you'll get your food, sit down and eat with them, and then the execs will go get their food and eat. Okay? So you don't have to scarf down your food before 5:15. You eat within that hour as well, for those oral ones. And then CSI is at 6:30. I encourage y'all to really keep retention of your groups between this transition. It is a 15-minute transition, and we tend to lose a lot of students because they just come for the dinner and then leave. But kind of encourage them like, hey, we're about to go see a performance. I don't really like performances. Yes. Oh, but afterwards, we get to get into small groups and hang out with each other. I'm not really into that. You get yell practice at the very end. Like, hype everything up tonight that happens, because students do leave within it. But if they really expect something good, like they might really like hanging out in small groups, they might really love the yell leaders, or they might be into theater. So hype everything up. We like to keep retention of everything. Okay. And then insight groups will happen at 7:15 to 8. The only time you have to memorize is the 4:45. I'm just giving you this for reference of how long you will be doing everything. Yes.
I know like we went over it several times, but I kind of forgot. So if you're in CSI, but you're also working like student track, like you would get dismissed like earlier, right? Like how would you get?
Okay, so if you're in CSI, you will be leaving at 5:50. Remember that time. I will also go up to the stage and say, CSI, you may now be dismissed. You can leave in case you're not really looking at your watch because you're having an awesome conversation. But if you're in CSI, I ask that you don't sign up for an inside group until everyone else has, so you can partner up. So your partner will get all the supplies that you need, and then you can meet up with them afterwards. Just keep track of what room number you have. Okay. Yeah. So being an Aggie, this is after insight groups, you will take the students to the Rudder Auditorium, and they are watching this. This is from the Corps of Cadets, and this is when you will be writing postcards in the Visitor Center of Rudder Tower. If you don't know where that's at, it's right in front of the elevators. And that's where we will all be at writing those postcards, and the students will be in there at that time, around 9-ish. Everyone will go close to the doors, and the execs will tell you when to go in. And we will reserve that whole front row of Rudder Auditorium for y'all, so y'all can enjoy yell practice with them as well. Yeah. Just remember, be red ass, be loud. They can see everything you're doing, so don't be on your phone. You shouldn't be on your phone at all while you're here. But yes, because they can literally see you up there. When you arrive, I will have 4 total execs, but you will only be looking for 2. One of them will have a tablet. That exec will be taking attendance. Go to that exec first, get your attendance taken care of, and then you'll go to an exec that's sitting at a table that sort of will look like this half of it, and they will have the roll sheet as well as a sheet for insight groups. So if you sign up for a role at counters, that exec will give you something to count with. If you're signing up for insight groups, they'll hand you a backpack. Okay? And on that backpack, you'll see later, we'll have a little luggage tag that says what room you go to. It's also on that paper, so in case it gets wiped off and you're freaking out like what room I go to, just come back to that same exec and they'll tell you. As well as help set up. Some of y'all like to show up really early, and I'm just getting there too. So help me set up. If you see that these signs aren't on there, but they're on the table, put those on. Ask me if you need anything, as well as you will be signing the back of the Howdy intro cards. So later on you'll get to see those again. So at the bottom it says my insight group leader was, and you print your name. You have to sign about 30, you're fine. So the dinner roles that we have for student dinner is the ballroom minglers, line minglers, counters, line facilitators, greeters, wristband passer outers, and sign holders. So remember, throughout the GMs, I have been saying there's two different ways to student dinner, either by colleges, which will require sign holders, or by colors, which will require wristband passer outers. Okay, I will tell you what day, or I will actually tell the exec what we're doing that day, and the exec will say, hey, you can't sign up for wristband passer outers, that is now sign holders. The reason why there's no definite number of sign holders is because I don't know which colleges will be at which, who actually do know which colleges will be at which conference. So you might need a lot of y'all, you might not need that many. So, this is how Bethany Court looks like. There's the stage, the tables with everyone's dinner. So line minglers, I expect y'all to line up against the hallway that leads. You can line up far down the hallway that y'all came in, like when you came in from Rotary Theater. Just do not pass that, this what they call SPO, Student Programs Office. Okay, that little hallway that leads into the art gallery, don't pass it. You've gone too far. Okay, restrooms, maybe you can stand by there, but basically your job is to make sure students are going in the general direction. They go, hey, welcome, hype them up, be like, hey, class of 2021, hey, kind of thing. You don't know what it is.
So high, it's so high.
Yes. Then we have greeters. You'll be standing at the doors. The doors prop open so you don't have to hold them. So, welcome to the student dinner. Please sit by your colored wristband that you just received or by your college. They're confused about what college they belong to because sometimes students mix up major and college. It's a wristband that they got at check-in. Matches with the sign. And then if it's colors, it's the wristband that they literally just got. Line facilitators will be behind the tables. This is mainly because we get to eat after these students. So if they're all only going to the first one, then we're never going to eat. So line facilitators who are like, hey, no one's at this table, keep going down. As well as announce that we do have a table for dietary restrictions. If they are vegetarians, have religious foods, or have any dietary needs, they would have specifically told us when they registered for new student conferences. So they have specific food that says their name on it. If it's vegetarian, just vegetarian. Everything else says their name, and that will be at the very end of the table. So also remind that, because some of the feedback that we got was, I couldn't eat anything because y'all didn't have anything vegetarian, but we did, kind of thing. So you want everyone to eat. If you see someone not eating at your table, just ask them. If they say that, like, oh, hey, your food's probably at the last table, then you go back. Okay. The line facilitators, that is your job to make sure the line keeps moving, because then y'all can eat. I can eat. Don't want me hungry. And then everyone else, if you do not have a job, you'll be a ballroom mingler. So you'll be inside the ballroom. Welcome to dinner. Like, please sit by your color or by your college, as well as make sure that students aren't switching wristbands if we do colors, because they just want to sit by their boyfriend or their best friend or whoever. Just encourage them, like, hey, this is so you meet new people. And then, in case someone is colorblind, don't be like, you can't see that color. Like, just help them. Be like, oh, you're going to be sitting where it says red. That's why these signs say what they are, in case they can't see the color. Right. Yes. So just be, if you're a ballroom mingler, that's what you do. Okay, and then counters. You will be where the line starts, and I will have 2 counters just to make sure that I have perfect numbers. Do not touch the knob, that resets everything. If you and your partner counter are off by like 5 people, don't worry about it. I'll just get the Vinny's number. This is more for Meg that needs the numbers, so don't worry. As well as they're there for accountability. Yeah, and then the line goes through there. See? Okay. But in case we do colors, the wristband passer routers will be here. So it's 4 people, so it's 4 colors. So you just stand behind the counters. So as they go through, you hand out a wristband. Make sure that not every student gets 4 wristbands. You can talk to your fellow wristband passer adders and be like, okay, we're gonna do red, blue, green, yellow, in that order. Or you come up with whatever y'all want, and then one person gets 1 wristband. If someone's like, hey, can we get the same color? Sorry, it's really awkward to meet new people, then hand them a neutral one. Okay. If they try to fight you, no. Just tell them nicely, like, it's just for today, like, you can see this person again tomorrow or later after tonight. Okay, just, that is your job. If anyone is giving you a hard time, there will be an exec right there, so they can handle it for you, or I will just go there. Any questions so far? So the color dinner. This is how it will be. You don't have to memorize the order of it, but it will be separated into 4. And then, this is how you exit. So at the end of my little speech, okay, now blue, you may exit out through this door. And you will see an exec with a big sign that says blue and is blue, stand up, and everyone that is blue will get up as well. If you are an OL, please follow that exec and you're blue. How do I know I'm blue? You have a blue backpack, okay? You don't. Okay. As well as make sure that no students are leaving anything behind. I know a lot of students like to leave their bags there because they think they're coming back or not. They cannot take food into the theater, and the only water that is permitted or drinks is if it's in a water bottle. So ask them to either finish it before they get there or to throw it away. And make sure that the colors aren't mixing, because this is how they sit for CSI. You don't have to memorize this. The exec that is holding that sign will go out to the front and hold it and wait for everyone to sit there. And Matt is being so kind to put down reserve signs for y'all, so you don't have to worry about getting a seat. You don't have to worry about sitting anywhere weird or awkward. You will be sitting in the aisles, so when it's dismissal time, it's easy for you to get up instead of having to, it's like, excuse me. Y'all were in the theater today, you know how weird that is.
Can we get to Rudder however we want? Or is there a pathway that you want us to take?
You just follow the exec's going a specific way. Yes, it's mainly accessible, it's easy to go through. The way that you go is down the same hallway y'all came up, or y'all didn't do that. The second floor, the one that connects MSC to Rudder, that's the way you go down to Rudder. Okay. Now dismissals. Matt will dismiss y'all by colors. The insect groups are either in the MSC or Rudder, and the way that I have organized it is if you're yellow or green, you will be in the MSC, because these rooms are on the second floor. It's just easiest to come back up. And then if you are red or blue, you're on the first floor, because the only way to get back up is through the elevators, which is kind of weird. So yes, you don't have to memorize when you get out, but where you get out. If you don't know where, the exec will have the sign that says yellow, or blue, or red, or green. So you don't have to worry about anything. It's planned out to the point where you can forget everything right now and be there and still know what you're doing. Okay. When you do exit, when you see the execs go to the specific exit, that is a cue for you to get up as well, and you'll go to the corresponding one. So if I see that Shay has a yellow sign and I have a yellow backpack, I will go wherever she's at. So when Matt dismisses yellow, all the yellow people or yellow students will go, and Shay's going to count 1 to 30, and then that first OL will go with them, or first pair, whoever's there will go with that group, and then keep counting like that. So you will be right next to Shay or whichever exec that's holding that color, and they will dismiss with you. Okay. But I ask, if you have a partner, have one person go in the front, one person in the back, so you can equally mingle with people, as well as make sure that they don't mix with anyone. Yes. Any questions so far? You can stop me at any time to ask a question. I know I might be saying a lot of information, and it might get confusing. So if you need me to clarify anything, do tell me. Okay, college dinner. So this varies by which colleges are there. So I don't know, I can't tell you. The College of Architecture will be sitting in the center column. Matt, as well as the execs, will have that, so just follow the leader. An exec will lead first from the Bethencourt ballroom, so you can just follow them. And there will be an exec that will tell you go down this column, go down this one, as well as you will still have your reserve signs, and still look for when the execs stand up to go to an exit. That is your cue. Okay? Just remember what college you're in. I don't have college backpacks, so your color backpack does not correspond with your college. So keep paying attention for that. So now insight groups. You may now look in your backpack. So you can spread that around. So inside your backpack, you have a bag with 30 pins. Make sure that you have all 30 pins go back into that bag. You will have a OL manual in there with a timeline as well as how to answer difficult situations, a fire escape plan, as well as icebreakers and any information that you need. In the front pocket, you will find a stack of Howdy intro cards. If you look at those, you can see where it says to sign it, or print. I prefer print, so students can see that. What you are missing is the postcard, and I will show you that. So this is the postcard. They are being ordered, and they should come in soon. So I'm going to teach y'all how to fill out a postcard. So when you arrive at insight groups, you can do it in whatever order, but it's best if you pass out Howdy intro cards as well as postcards and pins at the beginning. They keep the Howdy intro card. You should be getting back the pins and the postcards. The way they fill it out is they put their name. This is address line 1, address line 2, city, state, zip code. I don't need to know what county they're from. Don't need to know that they're from the United States. If they are an international student and they'd like to put that address, they should know how to fill that out. If not, call an exec. Yes, I was about to say I know, but I actually don't. They can only write on here. If they write above, below, then we cannot send that. And you can ask them to rewrite it then. But if you feel uncomfortable, you can hold on to it. And then when you fill out postcards later on, you can just rewrite it for them. Okay? Just because we can't send anything if it's like other places other than this. Okay? This is for you to write a special message for them. You can use this, or you can take a little notebook, and when you play Howdy Link and you ask them to say a fun fact, you can write down, Chris likes dolphins, like Ruben likes cars, like weird things. And so when you write your personal postcards, you're like, hey, they have a car club here, you should join it. Signed, Garrett. Or, hey, there's an aquarium club, you should really join it. It's a great way to find new friends. Or, if you don't really have to do that, that's kind of suggested. But if you go off the top of your head, it's kind of really hard to write 30 inspirational messages that aren't the same. Or you could write the same inspirational message for all 30. It's up to y'all. Yes, they are going to different places, so it's up to you. So does everyone know how to fill out a postcard? Yes. And at the end of the night, when you give back the backpacks, all that is staying in that backpack should be 30 pens, the manual, any leftover postcards, and Howdy intro cards. If you've put a cookie in there, throwing it out, water bottle in there, throwing it out. The only thing I will give back to you is if it's keys, wallet, or a phone. Okay. You can use these as actual backpacks while you have them. I did because I would come with my phone, my wallet, and I'd have small pockets. So I just put my stuff in, and at the end of the night, take it out. Anything other than that will be thrown out. If you like to keep your extra Howdy intro cards that say your name, you can keep them. They're yours, you wrote on them. But if not, they're getting thrown out. Okay. So, any questions so far? We're going to do an activity. Woo!
Hey.
So can I have 36? Yes. And then if you want, you can leave those on there. Okay, if you want to, you don't have to give those back to me because family track has to go in there afterwards. So they also use them. You just leave them right where you left them. Just remember, 1 OL per table, unless I have over 50 of y'all in one student track, which I shouldn't. Now, back to our regular programs. Transfer lunch. Please pay attention. This happens tomorrow. I'm expecting at least 30 of you there. Okay, the timeline for this. I expect you to arrive at 11:45 a.m. You should arrive on time because there's no awkward overlap of check-in and this event. If you are arriving late, again, text me. Do not show up with a bag of Whataburger. Because then I'm like, were you really that late? And then send you home.
Do you have some?
Transfer lunch begins at 12:15. The yell leaders come out at 1:05.
Ooh.
Lunch is over at 1:20, and then y'all can be dismissed at 1:25. The only thing I want you to remember is 11:45 and 1:25 if you have work and don't know when to schedule yourself. But everything else, it's not as complicated as student dinner because you're in the same room for that whole hour and some odd minutes. So you're not moving from one place to another. You don't have to worry about anything. You just sit down and enjoy. Okay, so when you arrive, it's going to be the same way that you do student dinner. Go to the exec that has the tablet, get your attendance done, and then you will go to the exec that has the stand-up sheet. The only supplies that you will need is the counters. That is it. What I forgot to say, backtrack to student dinner. After postcards and after yell practice, go back to the visitor center. The visitor center is where we will meet after you drop off your group, and then after yell practice, that is right in front of the elevators at Rudder Tower. There's couches, cocktail tables, kind of thing. That is when I will take attendance again. The execs will be doing something else, so it'll just be me and y'all. If you are not there for the second attendance, you will be counted absent for that event. Unless you told me prior that you have to leave early, then it's something different. You and I did it, we talked, okay? But yes, and the sooner that we get the attendance done, I'll do announcements before attendance, so once I check off your name, you're good to go. Okay? Now backtrack to this. Yes, so I'm only taking attendance once at transfer lunch, and that's when you arrive. Because there's no way you leave and then I don't notice you. Okay, the lunch rolls. Very similar to the dinner rolls. You have ballroom minglers, line minglers, counters, greeters, line facilitators, panelists, and mic OLs. Remember, these panelists are separate from stew pan. Those requirements are not this. Okay? This number might change. It might just be 1, might be 2, don't know yet. But it's very informal, yet formal kind of thing. If you do decide to be a panelist, I tend to encourage transfer students to do so. But if you're a transfer student and you don't want to do panel, I'm not going to force you. I know Sam and Chris have encouraged their panelists to participate in this panel. You don't have to. They're not watching. I won't tell on you. But do mind what you're saying when you are a panelist. When you say, it's hard here, that's harsh for some people because they might have come from a community college doing night classes. So they've never been in a four-year university, or their college is really small and now they're coming to this huge one. So mind what you say. Now, I cannot control what the transfer peer mentors say. There will also be 2 of those with you on the panel, but do watch what you say. I'm not going to say that again. I am going to say it. Watch what you say. Because they're just like freshman students. They don't know what's happening because this isn't your environment. They're not new to college. They're new to A&M. And if you say it's hard, then you can freak them out. And if you say you only get 2 hours of sleep, explain why you only get 2 hours of sleep. Because you work 5 jobs, you're in 20 clubs, and you have a new puppy. Explain that. Okay? It's not because I'm only taking 9 hours here and I only sleep 2 hours. You know? So if you have to explain yourself, just be mindful. And the Michael Wells, so there will be 2 of y'all, and we will split up the Bethencourt. One person will have one side, one person will have the other. So when students raise their hands to ask a question for the panel, run up for them, give them a mic. After they ask a question, take that mic back. Trust me, because some students will ask 5 questions or say random stuff like, meet me at Harry's after this.
True story.
Yeah, that's a true story. Please don't. It should be easy to navigate through the tables. If not, and it's like awkward to get through, just kind of wave the person over to meet you halfway. Or if they decide to shout it, I will repeat the question. So don't worry. Good, everyone good on that? So, the same method. And it's the same thing. So if you know how to do these positions, you can do transfer lunch. If you do these in transfer lunch, you can do it in student dinner. Everyone understand that? Okay, we do not have wristband pass routers, we don't have sign holders. The only two things that we have that aren't here is the panelists that will be on the stage and the microwaves that will move around. You know how I said back and court will be split? So one microwave will have one side, the other microwave will have the other. Good, got it? Okay. Now one thing that we're adding is Kahoot. So there should be one phone per table, like if you were yesterday at mock training, how we were in circles and there's only one. We picked our team name. I will give them time to do that. There will be 3 winners, first, second, and third place. They all get the same prize. Fortunately, y'all do not get to get the prize if that is your group. Okay? It's still on the fence. I might not. Okay. Do you like money? Okay, if you are in MyGoWell, you will also have this job of kind of facilitating. You'll be walking around with the execs that are there, and then just make sure that it's only one phone per table. If someone else pops open has their phone out, and you see Google, tell them kindly, hey, can you put that away? IVs do not lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those who do, or something else that's a little bit more right out of what I said. And then just gotta pay attention to them. And if they pull out their phone again, go back to the table and like, hey, if you're cheating, you're now disqualified. I have warned you once. If they want to continue playing, they can. Just take a note of their team, as well as if they don't want to participate anymore because they just got disqualified, please tell me or an exec. Okay? Okay? But y'all get to participate in a Kahoot. There's 2 Kahoots. One is still in progress, the other one is not. So you can help them out.
Let's say someone else pulls out their phone, but they're not Googling or texting or something like that. Tell them the same thing.
Just be like, hey, can you be mindful so we don't suspect that you're cheating? And then they'll finish up their text and put it away. But, yes. Oh my gosh, I'm way upset. Do you want to take a look?
Oh, let's do it.
What AOLP's responsibilities and expectations are of you as an orientation leader. First and foremost, be professional. Please be professional. We are in a professional role, and especially in the family programs, we are working with normally adults or family members of these students. So being a professional, respectful individual is of the utmost importance. Treat every program like it is your first program. Even when it's that super late one in August, you've already met all your requirements, you've been an extra, you've already met all your student panel requirements, you've gotten all the tours, you've done all the CSI presentations you're going to do. Still remember that even though that may be the very last program for the entire summer, it's that person's first one. So no matter what, just remember to stay spicy and just keep that same enthusiasm, that same fire, and that same zest that you have tonight at your first program or tomorrow at your first program. Just keep it going. Be punctual. Cannot stress this enough. Be on time. Always schedule for like a 10-15 minute window of earliness. That way it accounts for traffic, it accounts for any other obstacles you might face on the way. Plus also the worst case scenario, if you're early, guess what? You're early. I mean, heaven forbid you be early somewhere. Listen to your execs and co-directors and your NSFP staff. We've been doing it for a little bit, just a little bit. We know exactly what's going on for the most part. We put a lot of work into this. We want nothing but y'all's success for this overall experience. So please, just if we tell y'all something, we're not going to do anything crazy that we wouldn't do or that we don't desperately need done. And when we all work together, we're going to have an amazing time. And just be mindful of people from different backgrounds. Just use inclusive language across the board. Don't forget that not everyone's mom and dad are couple. Some of those grandparents, spouses, children. You never quite know. Sometimes brothers and sisters. Just remember to use the word family members. Remember to try to use gender-neutral words, things like that. And just remember that everyone is different, and treat each situation like a different one. This is not a cookie cutter symptom, and that's why we train y'all so hard and so well to be able to take each situation and make the absolute best of it.
Additionally to being a professional member, you are engaging with these family members, so it is a different level of like conversation. So you're not going to talk to your family members the same way you would talk to your friends at home. So just be mindful of that and remember to always be respectful in that aspect. Alright, so as orientation leaders, you know that we put a lot of responsibility on y'all's shoulders, so thank y'all for carrying that burden. But kind of going off that, some of the roles of family track is going to be very similar to the roles of student track. Y'all do student track.
Family track best friend.
True. But one of those roles is the line minglers. So it's very similar to the student track line minglers. What you're going to do is just find a group of family members while they're waiting in line and kind of insert yourself into a conversation, start a conversation with them, and kind of get them talking, get them really excited for the program that's coming up. And then additionally to that, if like you have a really good conversation, you can move through the line with them and eat food with them and then continue that conversation as you sit down at the table. That's a really cool thing. Most of the orientation leaders, whether y'all during family track, will actually be line minglers. So another role would be the counters, and this is just going to be 2 people that count people as they go into the ballroom and answer any questions that they have any about like seating or anything like that. So it'd probably be about 2. It's very similar to the student track counters. Line facilitators, like I said, a lot of this mirrors student track, and it's just like Gladys was doing earlier. Gluten and vegetarian are over here. There's 2 lines. Please keep it moving. So things like that, really simple to do. Lastly is micro-Ls. This is kind of a little bit different, really important. But some of the aspects of family track are interactive, and so the family members have an opportunity to speak. And so obviously they can't just stand up and like have a microphone. So we have OLs that have microphones that go and walk out to the people that want to speak. So for the first couple of conferences, we're probably going to have ROLs to be the micro-Ls, just because they know how it works and the facilitation of it will be a little bit smoother. But as the summer goes on, we'll have to rely on y'all. So it's not that difficult. We'll explain a little bit more of it and like when those are necessary in a few minutes.
So now we're getting down to the nitty gritty. The timeline exactly minute to minute. So at 6 o'clock, what time?
6 o'clock.
One more time, I didn't hear y'all.
6 o'clock.
Awesome. OLs are going to be arriving at Bethencourt. You know what? I wouldn't be super upset if y'all got there at 5:55, or even 5:50. I would not be upset with y'all at all. I would be upset if it was like 6:03 or 6:07. Those aren't really cool. Mainly because we have such a tight time crunch between student track leaving Bethencourt and us going in, that if you are just a few minutes late, you're going to be swamped by all these students coming out, and you won't be able to really get to where you need to be able to get assigned, go and get prepped to go in there and start this program. So at 6:10, around there, y'all's roles will be assigned by either Chris or myself, or the EOD. Then around 6:25-ish, Ask an Aggie, which is Stupan, so Stupan Best Band, will be released. And then from then until about 6:40-ish, we'll be on the transition from Rudder Auditorium up into Bethencourt. So that's why like landing and all that stuff are important to help get us along there. Also during that time is when y'all will be able to facilitate them through the lines, get their food, get them seated, and go ahead and start building those connections and making those conversations that are so desperately needed for these family members. So around 6:40 to 6:55-ish, family members and OLs will eat, mingle. It's kind of a little like a little free time. People still get seated, get everything all finished, get some conversations going. Then at 6:55 to 7:10, NSFP is going to have a slight little presentation. Y'all know what NSFP stands for?
New Student Development Program.
All right, awesome, y'all, awesome.
You can go back for a second. So the OL roles that we just went over are going to really plan into effect before 6:40, when everybody's still making that transition. And then once everybody gets to the ballroom and gets food, everybody turns into a regular OL and you sit with family members and you converse with them.
Conversate
with them. Have a conversation and share your experience. So after everybody gets in the dining room, everybody has the same job. You have to share your experience with those family members. So at 7:10, we begin one of the interactive programs within the family dinner, and that will be the contract activity, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Basically, it's a way to introduce family members to some topics that they might want to talk about with their students, or that they might forget to talk about with their students that are really important, that NSFP has found. They get a lot of questions on during the year, so we'll explain a little bit more about that in a second. At 7:25 to 7:30, it's another interactive portion called scenarios, and that's when one of our panelists will get up and describe a scenario or a situation that happened to them during their time here at A&M, and they're going to ask the audience questions, so they'll have a chance to react and they'll tell the rest of their story. So again, we'll talk more about that in a second.
Just disregard the typo.
From 7:35 to and 40.
And semicolon 40.
7:35 to 7:40, NSFP will kind of give their closing remarks and like a conclusion to the night, and then introduce the last thing that's going to happen. And from 7:40 to 8 o'clock is a really cool thing that is new this year. It's a big block of time that gives you all the opportunity to have those conversations with family members, like really get to know them, share your experiences with them, answer any concerns or questions that they have. And that's a new thing for us this year, because last year one of the biggest complaints about family dinner was that family members in OLs did not have enough time to like have conversations. Those conversations got cut short by some of the programming. So that's a new thing that's going to go. That's going to be really your chance to impact these family members. So that's why we're doing this. Also, during that time, family members are going to have an opportunity to like write out a postcard to their student, just like y'all do in student track. Yeah, so that'll be something that y'all might need to help facilitate as well. But for the most part, it's kind of like self-explanatory. And then at 8 o'clock, family members will be dismissed. Family members might start to leave at 7:40 because they might not like need anything from y'all or want to do postcards. So there may be a trickle of family members leaving your tables and things like that. But the family members will formally be dismissed at 8 o'clock. And about 8:05, we'll start cleaning the tables. And then final announcements, and then y'all leave.
All right, before I go to this next slide, what time are y'all supposed to get there?
6.
All right.
Or 5:55.
Any time. 6 o'clock at the absolute latest. Zoom in at 6. Wouldn't be upset. Rather get there a little bit early. So we'll operate on a 24-hour time basis. It's also 1800 if y'all are just curious.
Hey, whoop.
All right. We'll be meeting right outside of the Bethencourt Ballroom, like in the little cubby right there. You will see either Chris and myself, or like another exec, just with a black polo, and possibly another little group of people in maroon polos that are already there. So that's when and where to meet. That's where you're going to be assigned, get everything going. And the reason, like, we want you to really be on time if not early, is because that's a straight traffic zone leading out of there. And it's hard to get in there now. Everyone's trying to push out, so trying to push against the flow of traffic and everything. So, yes.
So that brings us to our contract activity.
Aw.
Pass that real quick.
Ooh.
So cute. Look at those cuties.
Aw, thanks.
Wasn't talking about you there.
I was talking about
My GoL's work with that is an NSFP staff member will be introducing this contract activity, and they will give them time to read it just like we did, and then they will ask if anybody has any questions or any comments on it, and then family member will raise their hand, and a mic will have to briskly walk out and give them the mic and wait for them to talk and then come back. So that's basically what the mic OL does. All right, moving on to the scenarios.
Awesome. So the scenarios. It's another interactive portion of Family Dinner. It's an amazing time to kind of make these resources and experiences come to life for the family members. They also help bring up new questions and new conversations that potentially would never have happened. It makes a lot of the information relatable. So basically, I mean, they may hear about needing an RA, or they may hear about the transportation office, they may hear about all these things, but when we actually put it in a real life situation for them and have them come from a student who's been through the exact same situation, it kind of just puts a face to that. It makes it like less of a scary something, and just really makes it like something that they feel like they can overcome, or their student can overcome, and they can help their student get through. And then also, like, if you may have not have ever had any experience with a traffic ticket, or any experience with a roommate conflict, or any experience with like financial aid or scholarships, but you hear someone that has, it'll like give you and give them just like a new experience and kind of make it a more like rounded, more educated experience. So part of this scenario activity is actually we're going to go through how a scenario would be, and I'm going to be up here. I'm going to be the scenario OL, which will actually be done by panelists. Each panelist has gone and written an amazing personalized scenario. Each and every one of them have been through and are able to make it an educational aspect to help everyone else who might go through this similar situation. Y'all excited for this? All right. So this is actually one on roommate conflicts. They happen to all of us. So when I was accepted into A&M, I knew that I wanted to live in a dorm, at least for my first year. I wanted to get immersed in everything. I wanted to learn the traditions, get involved, just kind of be a part of what college actually is. I came from a small school. I was the only one coming to A&M from my school at all. The only person I even knew at A&M. So that's kind of daunting. and I couldn't really like find any other roommates that I knew, so I had to go with the whole potluck, or it's kind of like random roommate aspect that goes through it. So after I was assigned my roommate, I found him on Facebook. I was like, oh, this dude looks cool. I added a friend request, shot him some messages. We started talking. I looked through his interests, see if we like the same bands. I'm a big Bowling for Soup fan, so hopefully he likes some like early pop punk and stuff like that. I was just really excited. As we're going through it, I started to see we have some of the same interests and everything, and I'm really, really, really excited for move-in day. So, but on move-in day, we got in our room around the same time, and after saying goodbye to our parents, finally, it's like they would never leave, to be honest. We rearranged the furniture in the room. I like lofted my bed, so I put it up real high because I like the hammock. So I hooked the hammock under there and everything, and I felt like I was like living well life. Because I'm RPTS, like recreation parks, come on, y'all, like I have to hammock. Let's just be real. But so the first few days we hung out a lot. We like went and got textbooks together. We introduced each other to some of our friends, tried to like make our circle a little bit bigger. Went to all of the Howdy Week events. It was a lot of fun, and we really started to get close. As we kept going, I got more and more and more excited to spend the rest of my year with this guy, and really I was really happy I found a really, really good friend. Once classes started though, our schedules were showing that we kind of conflicted. We found time to do homework together, or go out to eat, like the basics, but really was starting to kind of butt heads on a lot of things. And as stress levels were picking up because classes got harder and tests were coming, I realized that we basically had opposite schedules and started on each other's nerves a lot, like a lot. I'm an early morning person. I love my 8 a.m.s. I love my 9 a.m.s. I get my classes out of the way by noon, preferably. He was the opposite. He didn't want to get up until like a 2:20. Just loved being up late till like 2, 3, sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning. Which when you live in a dorm, which is basically like a single room with 2 beds in it, that doesn't really work if we're on 2 polar opposite schedules. So stresses kind of started going up, and we started kind of just, how do I say it, like not getting along as good as we should. And that was kind of not ideal with someone that you sleep 6 feet away from. So that was kind of tough. We tried to compromise our schedules. We tried to go to the library a little bit more. That wasn't really working. But he just kept staying up later and later and later, and to the point where it was basically the lights were on all night. And by the time I was getting up, he was finally going down to sleep. It aggravated me because just have to go to the sound of freaking Halo on an Xbox, just like stop. Literally can't do it anymore. Jeez. But yeah, so. It just kept going and going and going. And finally, I had one of my bigger midterm weeks coming up, and stresses were at the all-time high. We started kind of being super passive-aggressive to each other, leaving notes and stuff. Like, hey, dude, try going to sleep earlier, haha. Or stuff like that. He left hey, why don't you not be an old person and start waking up early and going to bed early? So it just kind of happened. But as we were going through and just kind of going on further and further, and this test week, it was miserable. I literally got no sleep before my 8 a.m. test because he was up all night, and it was the last straw. They were just to the point where I think I was going to wake up and just punch him in the face. Could not do it anymore. So yeah, I went off on him. When I got back to my test, just basically woke him up. I was like, hey man, we got to do something about this, and just basically yelled at him for a couple minutes, which is not ideal. If this was your student, what would you tell them to do in this situation? And so that's a part of where in this scenario, it's gives audience participation, gives them the time to hear other people's experiences, other people's expertise, I guess, in this area. That's where also the micro-Ls will also be running around, oh, here, your hand raised here, and they'll talk about it. So you'll get to the people that have had multiple kids go to college and they've done it, or they went through this similar experience in college, or siblings that have done it. It's a really cool experience to give everyone a different viewpoint on it. So as that winds down, the scenario is rounded off. So the next morning, after my test, after everything happened, I went off on him. I called my grandma, and I was just like, honey, I can't do this anymore. I call my grandma honey, by the way, I'm sorry. My grandpa's pop, it happens. I was so worried that I legit would never sleep, and I would fail out of school, and all I wanted to do was do well in school, and I feel like I couldn't do that. And my grandma told me, just talk to your roommate and see. And I was like, I have, it's not working. He's just not being a cool guy right now. And then she was like, hey, your uncle went and talked to his RA when he had a similar situation. Go try talking to your RA, which I knew I had a residence health advisor. Hadn't really talked to him since the beginning meeting when I moved in. He tried to be like, oh, hey, Sam, walk down the hall. I was like, I don't want to talk to you. I'm too cool for you. So finally got to the point where I wouldn't talk to him, and he went and arranged a time for us to meet up, sit down, and talk it out, kind of be a mediator for this problem. He talked about how we should try to compromise and sometimes study outside of the room and do different things to try to like balance it out where we're kind of meeting each other halfway. And things didn't get great. They got a lot better. I started getting sleep, which was nice. Ended up doing pretty well this semester. We don't live together anymore. I'm sad to say, but we're still good friends, which without that situation, I don't think could have been possible. So that's the definition of a scenario. It's kind of like I said, it kind of puts the residence hall advisor resource out there and shows that roommate conflicts happen. It's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean your student's just a miserable person by any means. It just means that sometimes things happen when you sleep 6 feet away from another person.
Yeah. So this is also a really important and really cool thing because it does provide a little bit different experience and point of view. But also, some of the family members don't feel confident in raising their hand and saying in front of the whole crowd, but they'll lean over and whisper to you and say oh, well, this is what I would do. And so that also starts that same conversation that you get to provide that same experience with them, which is really the special part of this program. So that's basically what Scenarios is. It's really fun. It's really interactive. There are usually going to be 2 of them. And like Sam said, our panelists are the ones that are going to be giving them. And it's over a wide variety of topics, but we will know who is giving the scenarios. And so when we meet at 6 o'clock, before we give roles, we'll tell you who's giving the scenarios today and what they're going to be about. So it gives you some time to think on resources and on your experience on that topic. So, any questions on scenarios?
Specifically scenarios or contract? Good. Awesome.
Awesome, cool.
So some fun little tips about surviving family track. That's Chris with a fish, by the way, in case y'all didn't know. Look how big that fish is.
It's a nice fish.
It's a nice fish.
It's a nice fish.
Yeah, Chris got that. Found it on his Facebook.
It's
so awesome. One of the big things that help you survive is knowing what resources are in the family bags that they're handed during check-in. When you know that, it's an easy out and easy way to get them a tangible resource immediately. So when you know that they're having questions about textbooks, they're having questions about any sort of finance stuff, if you know that, hey, there's these Barnes & Noble packet or papers in this bag, and pull out and hand them to them. Or if you know that during their program they're going to have a MoneyWise Aggies program. Different things like that will be able to help you and help them kind of get to the best solution possible for their problems. Family members love hearing about experiences. Experiences are the best thing. They can literally Google anything else if they needed to. But they cannot get first-hand experiences from someone at A&M. They may have had their other child or their student go to another university, but I promise it's not going to be the same situation as us. So that's something to hear. Is always don't be afraid to just say your experience and see what's happened to you. I think that ROLs will be happy about is that Aggie Moms will not be presenting during family dinner, which is an amazing something. Aggie Moms is an amazing organization, for y'all don't know, that kind of support Aggie students that come through here and give them goodie bags and give scholarships out. It's a great organization. But in the past, they've had a 30 to 40 minute block when they're not supposed to talk, that they're still talking in this presentation. So we went through the steps to get a video filmed this past year. So now we have a 5 minute and 40 second video. 5 seconds actually just a GIF. Then just going. I'm kidding, but it's about a 5 minute and 40 second video. So it's quick. You'll get everything going, get everything explained. But it's one of the pages that's in the family bag is the Aggie Moms registration form. It's not your job to take the forms. Aggie Moms will have someone here on campus to receive them, but if they do give them to you, take it. Just take it. We have a folder. Get it to either Chris and I or the EOD on duty, or the EOD exec on duty. It's ASAP as possible off the office. But yeah, just get it to one of us and don't make a big deal about it. Don't say it's not my job or anything. We'll take care of it for them. One of the big things we need to remember is that we're not going to have enough OLs to fit every single table. We're just not. So if you have a conversation that is kind of dwindling, or they don't have any more questions, or they've had a gajillion kids go to A&M, they don't really need you there, just politely excuse yourself. Be like, it was a wonderful, wonderful experience talking to y'all. If you have any questions, flag me down. I'm going to go over to this other table real quick, talk to them, make sure they have everything going. That's a great way to kind of spread the wealth and be able to get as many people touched by this program as possible. And last but not least, use table manners. Just don't eat like an animal. You understand you are college students. It happens. This may be your first meal of the day. It's something at night, which I really hope is not the first meal of the day. But coming from last summer, it definitely was my first meal of the day sometimes because free food, right? get really hungry for it. But yeah, so just use table manners, just like use your napkin, just don't chew with your mouth open, all that kind of stuff. Like act like you're on like a very early date in a relationship. Like not like a later date where you go to McDonald's and you're in your pajama pants and you're or whatever. Act like you're like going to somewhere nice, like Chili's, you know?
It's a new love story.
Or Olive Garden, I don't know, fancy dollar. But yeah, so just make sure you use table manners and just be respectful and all that. Anything else to add? Any more tips?
One other thing for the Aggie Mom forms is a really good thing. If you don't feel comfortable taking it, because I think it has like phone numbers and stuff on there, so if you just don't want to feel like really creepy.
Phone numbers, emails, all that jazz.
Yeah, you could just say the Aggie Moms actually allow you to scan the form and upload it and then email it to them, so that's a possibility as well. And like Sam said, if someone like hands it to you, like don't like freak out about it, just like accept it and like give it to us as soon as possible. Because we're really glad that we have Aggie Moms as part of this university, but we're really, really glad that they're not speaking at family dinner. So we're trying to do this for them to keep that going.
Awesome. So do you have any questions about family track? Ask away. It's why we're here. Please ask something. There's no such thing as a stupid question, I promise. It's funny because we have a list up there. Yeah, so no questions, nothing about contracts or when you need to be there. What time we need to be there?
5:50.
There we go. Red axe. Let's give her a round of applause, y'all. All right, so if you have no more questions.
I can just ask you one.
No.
After scenarios, do we have like table time to talk, or are we only like supposed to let them talk into the microphone if they have something to say after they say the scenarios?
After the scenarios and they open it up to the audience, if they feel confident and like want to say what they have to say in front of everybody, then let them. But in my experience, a lot of family members like have been too shy and like not wanting to share, but they're willing to share within the table. So either or. But just if you are having conversation with them and someone is trying to speak, try to keep it down just so everybody can hear everything. Yeah, Lindsay?
When you're on panel, do you still get to eat with the people?
Yeah.
Or? Okay.
Yeah. So like as you transition, you'll literally walk with them. This everyone knows. The panelists will be walking with the families back from the auditorium, and so you'll have the opportunity to kind of be like built-in minglers and all that, so it kind of helps out. But a lot of them will come up once you're finished with the panel and just tell you how cute you are and how sweet you are, and we're so thankful and everything, and just praise you off.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But then they'll also have some more questions generally, and so like it gives you the opportunity to be like, all right, oh, awesome. We can't stay here, but I'll walk with you there, and you'll walk with them and talk and everything, and then it just kind of go through the line with them and everything like that.
We wanted to try and be a really seamless transition, so with panelists leading the way to like the hallway and then line minglers like set up throughout the hall and just integrate this.
Yeah, because we're having to do a little bit of like rocket surgery kind of stuff for this, because the students are going to be getting out around the same time. We're actually going to be like passing on different levels around the same time. So what we don't want to do, and which is why this is going to be like a very like particular way, is that as the families are going out or the students coming out, it's like, I just ate, you ready to go? Like, yeah, okay, and they just chop out, and we don't want to deal with that, because we want everyone there to get more educational aspects and have the best opportunity possible at their new student conference. So that's just the reason that we have it kind of set up this way. Yeah. Any other questions about anything? Like, what's up, Cassie?
If I'm signed up for a panel, I am automatically signed up for family track, and I
You
don't
are
need to do
working
it
on
online?
family
You don't need to do it online, so we'll take care of it.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Anything else? Doing once? Going twice? Anything super specific you didn't know? What's up, Julian?
Okay, for panel, I know we should wear like pants. Do we just wear pants for like the entire night?
Yep.
Yes. Because that'd be weird. Just went and changed.
Okay.
Yeah, but also it makes you stand out in the room as well. And you've already established like this I guess expertise in a way, and you'll just become a little bit more of a target to questions, which is not a bad thing at all. And other OL will be able to point you out as well. If you're like, oh, she was on panel. So, yeah. Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
So you said just to email you, right, about CSI?
Yes, please email us about that. Family track, AOLP, at gmail.com. Anything else? Awesome, y'all. So, that's it. Y'all are finished? I'm kidding. We do have an amazing little activity for y'all.
Is it
Huh?
Is it
It's definitely a Kahoot. It's not a Kahoot. Don't say, oh, this is way more fun. So our activity is like a family talking activity. This room is currently set up similar to how the family dinner rooms would be set up with the round tables and everyone at it. So during this activity, we're actually going to be having some of the execs, possibly co-directors, or Justin, whoever wants to come down and help y'all. But we're going to be going through basically panel-style questions and asking y'all the stuff that family members have asked. We have a sheet that's been compiled over a few years of all the questions that have been asked at student panels, like legitimately verbatim questions that have been asked at student panels. And we're going to try to like ask y'all and talk to y'all. Y'all on panel, please refrain from answering first, of course. But yes, those give you a little opportunity to see just how kind of crazy and specific some of these family questions are, because they get real. Yeah, I don't understand where they get some of these questions. I think I've been asked like, where do you get fresh fruits and vegetables on campus? Oh, you get those at the dining halls. No, like fresh, like fresh.
Howdy farm.
Yeah, but not all the time though. Like that's the thing. And you just,
There's like the little
yeah, but like it's just like you get some very, very weird, very specific questions.